On this episode, we hear from our Sharks their thoughts on the current dining hall options, a look into our women's basketball team, and got to see the endowment for the Mark Duncan Legacy Scholarship here at NSU. I'm Alvarado. Welcome back, Sharks. We will start this newscast about a special event here at NSU, the endowment of the Mark Duncan Legacy Scholarship, which I got the chance to report on.
Here at NSU, DCMA is hosting a private auction and seminar for faculty, students, and friends to join together and celebrate the Mark Duncan Legacy Endowment for the Arts.
With the fund, organizers hope that NSU students will have greater opportunities within the arts program.
We want the money to go to the students to enrich their experience here at NSU. So we want to see that silent auction just full of bids, and we want to see everyone coming together tonight. Like I said, Mark was so much about connections, and in his last days with us, he mentioned it all the time, that life and your legacy is about the connections you make and the people that you care about. And that's what I want to see tonight. All the people that have made this department so special, whether they know each other or not, they're a part of the same community.
Friends and former colleagues of Mark Duncan highlight how the endowment fund will carry on his legacy.
Mark Duncan is one of the founders of the arts program. He unfortunately died a couple of years ago, and so we just want to remember him, and we want to have an opportunity to get alumni together and donors and create something really cool that we can use the funds for to support our students.
And I know this is improv, I know the people that run it, and they're all phenomenal people, and I love that they were also past students, I believe, of Mark as well, and they knew Mark personally, that we can all just bring that all together to do this in order to honor his legacy and like that. It's just beautiful all around that it comes full circle.
Attendees share their thoughts on the event.
The faculty here at NSU, there were so many of them here supporting Mark Duncan. Also, other alumni. And I'm so happy I came. I'm from over 4 hours away, so I'm happy I was able to make it and see other alumni and other faculty members here. So
I really noticed how many people were here for him and all of the arts that people are offering under the silent auction or the live drawings. I really noticed that, and it was a really cool opportunity for people.
As everyone comes together to celebrate and honor the endowment, Mark Duncan and his legacy continues here at NSU. I'm Alvarado with Mako TV.
Stay tuned for a Sharks in the Arts special with more on the Mark Duncan legacy and the Improv Jam. Up next, our general manager and reporter Madison Kasper sat down with Dr. Aubrey Raja to discuss the concerns and precautions regarding whooping cough. Let's take a look.
Welcome to the Health Update. I'm Madison Kasper. Here with me is Dr. Aubrey Raja, Mako Media's Science and Health Advisor. Welcome, Dr. Raja.
Thank you, Madison. It's a pleasure to be here.
Our topic today is whooping cough. Dr. Raja, what is whooping cough?
So whooping cough is a bacterial disease, so a disease caused by a bacterium that infects human beings. And the main symptom that the person feels when they have this infection is this thing that we call a whooping cough.
So Dr. Raja, are there any other symptoms?
So the main symptom is the whooping cough. It's a very specific type of cough. Otherwise, the other symptoms tend to be very similar to a common cold, like a runny nose, a cold-like symptom, but the cough that goes with the infection is very unique and very different.
So how is this directly affecting college students?
The problem with whooping cough is it's highly contagious. So if you live in a home or you live with other people who may harbor this microorganism, this bacterium, and they have this disease condition, they could easily transmit it over to you. Or you live surrounded by lots of other college students who may have come in contact with some other people who have this infection. And it spreads very rapidly and very easily, which is why it's of risk at times in a college population. But in general, it's a cough that is a result of a bacterial infection, and it's a cough where the individual just goes into these fits of cough, and it can go on. They can have this cough for anywhere around close to 10 weeks, which is really a very long time to have a cough and a symptomatic condition.
How can people prevent getting this cough?
The best way to prevent getting this cough is to actually get vaccinated against it. And in fact, there are 2 vaccines that are available. And in fact, most people in the United States would have been vaccinated against it. We all get this vaccine against this microorganism Bordetella pertussis when we're very young. And as long as you've been vaccinated, you've been prevented from getting this whooping cough later in your life. But if you have not been vaccinated against this, then the only way to really prevent getting this cough is to make sure you're not in an environment where someone likely has this type of a cough. And that is always hard to determine because you often don't know if that cough that person is really coughing is whooping cough. And usually it tends to be, you figure that out quite late in the game. However, even if that happens, there are options available for treatment purposes.
And what are the treatments?
There are a couple of treatments available. There are a couple of antibiotics out on the market that are available against Bordetella pertussis. And in those instances, if you've been battling this cough for 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 10 weeks, then you would have to go in and see a physician to get the antibiotics. Now, the problem with pertussis or whooping cough is really much bigger in very young children. So children who are below the age of 1 or below the age of 7, this disease, if they get this disease, it can be really life-threatening for them because you kind of imagine someone has this really uncontrollable cough. An adult having an uncontrollable cough is one thing versus a very young child having it. And the other unfortunate situation is oftentimes very young children don't present with a cough. So they may have the infection, they may not have a cough, but they'll just have really difficulty breathing, and then it can be really fatal for them. So in their cases, there are treatments still, but there aren't that many antibiotics you can give young children. So making it complicated for the younger population, but the antibiotics work for the older population.
Any last thoughts?
The main last thoughts would be to figure out first, perhaps, if you have had this vaccine. It's easy to go look up your vaccination history, and it's called either the DTaP or the Tdap. There are 2 different types of vaccines. See if you've been vaccinated. If you've been vaccinated, you're protected. And if you have not, just be aware that perhaps this disease is going around, and so that you will be able to go see a physician the moment you have some kind of cough symptom so that you can catch it early.
Thank you, Dr. Raja.
Thank you, Madison.
This has been the Mako Media Health Update. I'm Madison Kasper. See you next time.
On this episode, we have the pleasure of talking with Richie Laguerre, a graduate assistant from Campus Life. Welcome, Richie.
Thank you, Mia, for having me.
Of course. Richie, what does NSU Campus Life have in store for our Sharks this winter semester?
So what can students expect this winter semester here? So in the Office of Campus Life and Student Engagement, which I do believe is one of the best offices here on campus, right now we're focusing on our 20th annual Community Fest, right? It's crazy to think that in 20 years this event is still going on, and actually it was created by, I call an NSU legend. Her name is Dr. Michelle Manley, who has been here for NSU since 2002. She came up with the event. She had the event 20 years ago. She came, she executed the event, and now to see the event still going on, it's crazy and it's a good thing. And that's what we're focusing right now. What can you expect and what can the students expect of this event? Well, in this event, you can expect attractions, you can expect music, you can expect lots and lots of food. You can expect a lot of people bringing in their families. And the reason why we say that is because not only is this event just for NSU students and the NSU community, it is open to the town of Davie. So usually we can bring in about 5,000 plus individuals with their families, with their sisters, with their cousins, with anyone just wants to come and be around the NSU population and be around the NSU community. That event will be happening February 10th from 12 to 4, and I don't think anyone wants to miss it.
Oh, awesome. So the main focus right now is Community Fest.
Yes.
Now, where can NSU Sharks and people from the town of Davie find more information on where they can go to buy a ticket or to reserve their spot?
That's a very good question. So We are big on our social medias. We put everything out on our social medias. We even have everything out on our website. So if someone on the outside wants to check things, they can also go on our website and we can give them all the information they need to know. In addition to that, when it comes to students, I am an individual that conducts the engagement calendars, which is basically a calendar that has all the events for each month. And usually I distribute them around campus. So anyone can look and see these and know what events are going on for this semester.
That's great to hear. Thank you, Richie.
Thank you so much.
Up next, our reporter Jocelyn Saccucci hit the dining hall to hear what our Sharks think about the current dining hall options. Let's take a look.
NSU is always looking for new ways to expand Shark dining. Today, I'll be asking Sharks what they like to eat here on campus. So what do you like to eat here most on campus?
Mostly Qdoba.
Are you satisfied with the food options here on campus?
Yeah, definitely. Waiting for Chick-fil-A to come.
My favorite, I think, is like the Chinese, like the Asian food, because it's like it has rice, it has like a lot of options. But yeah, I think that's my favorite.
I don't really eat from Shark Dining. I'll either go to the market or sometimes Starbucks because I keep kosher.
From Qdoba, I normally get the bowl or the quesadilla, and then from the sushi place, I get the orange chicken.
I usually eat at Sushi Maki. If not there, Qdoba. They're usually like my go-to spots. People at Sushi Maki always take care of me, as well as Qdoba, and their food is banging. So.
Are you satisfied with the food options here on campus?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. They have different types of cuisines. They all taste amazing. And like, if I don't have a place to go off campus, it never misses to go here.
Are you satisfied with the food options here on campus?
When the Chick-fil-A comes around, probably. I'll think about it. But yeah, as of right now, I'll give it an 8 out of 10.
I feel like we could use a little bit more because it's like every day it's like the same thing. I get Qdoba in the morning. Yeah, so I feel like we could use a lot more options.
So ideally, if you could add any restaurant here to Nova, what kind of food would it be?
I would like Cane's because Cane's is my personal favorite.
If there was anything that could be added here on campus, ideally, what would you want it to be?
My big place, I would say, is probably Chipotle. I think I've seen other campuses have Chipotle. I eat Chipotle probably every week. I would definitely enjoy that.
Just say like a nice vegan place. That would be nice to be more inclusive to some of the students here.
Maybe like tacos, maybe like, I don't know, like more like fresh options, like less greasy, like the pizza's very greasy, things like that.
So what do you like to eat here most on campus?
Usually I just grab Starbucks, but Qdoba's pretty good too.
Are you satisfied with the food options here on campus?
Yeah, wish there would be a little bit more options just so spread out the variety.
So if you could add anything to NSU Shark Dining, what would it be?
I know Chick-fil-A is coming in, so I'm excited for that, but otherwise, maybe switch Qdoba for Chipotle.
NSU's food options continue to expand. New vending machines have recently just been added this semester. I'm Jocelyn Saccucci with Mako TV.
Thank you, Jocelyn. For our sports segment, I have Santi Finochietto joining me today. Welcome, Santi.
Hi, Mia. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
Of course. What's new with women's basketball?
This past weekend, the NSU women's basketball team took down San Leo University on a huge road win. As the season goes by, the team is becoming a huge contender to win the Sunshine State Conference. We had the pleasure to talk with Aubrey regarding the momentum of the team. Coming after a solid win on the road against San Leo, the NSU women's basketball team won their 12th consecutive game this season.
We have shown what we're capable of, but I don't think that we are there yet. We have a long way to go. I think we have a lot of good pieces, but we haven't gotten it together yet. But I think that we are going to surprise ourselves really easily in the conference.
With 10 games left of the Sunshine State Conference regular season, the team holds a 14-3 record, hoping to take over the conference.
Goals are really big with our team. We keep ourselves at high standards. I think that we are just as good as any other team. We want to win conference, obviously. That's a big goal for us. We want to cut down nets. We want the rings. We want the typical thing. But I think for us right now, our biggest goal and expectations is every single game, giving it every single thing we've got and having no regrets.
Junior number 33, Aubrey highlights the importance of their coaching staff coming into the 13th season under coach Freeland Curry.
Our coaches are amazing. They're so supportive. Any one of us can go in and talk to them anytime we want. I think the biggest thing that they do for us is they believe in us. They give us that confidence to know that we are NSU basketball. We are what people strive to beat. And I think for us, knowing that coaches are like pushing us, that they have just as high expectations for us as we do ourselves. Knowing they have our backs through the ups and downs, I think that's what makes a successful program so successful.
Looking for another win? This Saturday, starting 3:30 p.m., our Sharks face Rollins College at the Rick Case Arena. This is Santi Finochietto with Mako TV. This Saturday, our Sharks face Rollins College at the Rick Case Arena, starting at 3:30 p.m.
Thank you, Santi.
Thank you, Mia.
For our last segment, our reporter Donna Bertel sat down with NSU alumni Angelica Zadak. She talks about the latest improv jam that followed the Mark Duncan Endowment. Let's take a look.
Welcome to Sharks in the Arts. I'm Donna Bertel, and here with me is Angelica Zadak, NSU alumni and action professor. Welcome, Angelica.
Hi, Donna. Nice to be here.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
What are your connections to NSU?
Well, my connections to NSU, like you said, I'm an adjunct professor here in improv and comedy. Those are Tuesdays and Thursdays, and the classes are fantastic.
What is improv jam at NSU?
So when we have the NSU improv jam, it's students, people, this is me talking as an older person now, you know, in hindsight, but it's students looking at, new adults looking at the world today. What do they think about the world today and their relationship to the world today? And they're writing that script. They're telling their story. They're speaking from their own voice in real time, right there on stage, saying it how it is. But it's funny. I promise you, it's so funny. There's that serious part of it, and it's really funny too. So it's great.
How did improv jam begin?
How did improv jam begin? That is a great question. And I don't have the answer to that. I should do some fact checking because it is a pretty momentous event. I know for a fact it started with Mark Duncan. Mark Duncan loved comedy. He loved the arts, the theater here at NSU and the theater department. That was mostly Mark's doing. So we got lucky that he brought in his passion and his know-how, extreme know-how, into the improv jam.
What made this improv jam different from past ones?
This improv jam was incredibly special because it was in the honor of Mark Lindsay Duncan and for the Mark Lindsay Duncan Endowment Fund. So prior to the show this year, we did have a reception that showcased all the arts, all of the arts. So visual arts, drawing, sketch drawings, a hologram, and showing statues at every angle through these holograms, and choreographers, the incredible choreographers that are professors, faculty here that make those shows come to life, the musical directors, music, just showcasing all that, everything that NSU has to offer in regards to the arts. That was all Mark's baby. Mark wanted this to happen. Mark had this vision and it came to life, and we finally get to honor him through this performance. This was a way to hopefully make him laugh from the great beyond.
What is the Mark Lindsay Duncan Endowment?
The Mark Lindsay Endowment Fund, Mark Lindsay Duncan Endowment Fund, it is a way for students to have access to the arts, have access to professionals in different factions of the arts, giving them resources so that they can go out into the world as professionals and have these resources, have these connections, have this network of people that are there to support them beyond just the classroom.
Of course. How did the improv jam support the Mark Lindsay Duncan Endowment?
So the improv jam acted as this place for us all to get together. I feel like the improv jam was really a place for us to really honor his memory. The students did a fantastic job. I must highlight the students. They were wonderful. And people were talking about them for hours. Trust me, I was there in the parking lot for hours talking about how fantastic the students were. And that's, I think, what Mark would have wanted, to show off these incredible skills, these people showing off what they love, making each other laugh, making the audience laugh. And Mark has had his own special sense of humor, and it's cool to see everyone discover their own sense of humor through this thing that he really created.
Any last thoughts?
Well, I think I want to think back about Mark. Mark, a lot of people now don't know who Mark was. And I think it's important to bring in some of his sense of humor and talk about some of my memories. And I feel like everyone has their own special, specific memory of Mark. One of my favorite memories of Mark is really walking down from the improv class to my other class. And during those walks, we would talk. We're getting a sense of each other. We were feeling each other out. And we kind of connected. I didn't know where I was. I didn't know where I was at all. You know, as a freshman, you have a plan, but you're not sure if the plan is right. You're just testing this out. You know, this is your first time out into the real world. And so Mark and I would talk about what my plan was, what I wanted for my future. And we would laugh about little things. He would pick on me for something that I had a plan on for my future, and then I would pick on him back. And he was great in that way because he brought humor into every conversation. It was just great. All of those conversations with Mark, all of those times that he listened, he did that with everyone. He listened. He heard out what your plan was. He didn't necessarily try to steer you in a direction he thought was best for you. He steered you in the direction he thought would fulfill your dreams, fulfill your wants for the future, fulfill you as a person. And that was the incredible thing about Mark.
Thank you, Angelica. Those were some beautiful words.
Thank you, Donna. Thanks for having me. Thank you for listening.
Of course. Coming up in the arts is Senior Showcase Art Exhibition and Gruesome Playground Injuries. This has been Sharks in the Arts. I'm Dana Bertel. See you next time.
Thank you, Donna. That is all for this week's episode on Mako TV. You can catch our solo release videos on our YouTube at Mako Television. You can also follow us on Instagram at NSU_Mako TV. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Go Sharks!